Ulysses S. Grant was born here in Point Pleasant, Ohio on April 27, 1822. His parents rented this small cottage for just $2 a month. But the story of the 18th president of the United States of America really starts further east. Grant grew up here in Georgetown, Ohio. His childhood home, the tannery owned by his father, and his school still stand. The properties, including his birthplace, are managed by the Land of U.S. Grant. Ned Lodwick is the president of that nonprofit.
When he was about a year old, his father, Jesse, wanted to move to a town and start his own tannery.
The tannery was built across the street from the family home. Ulysses, whose real name was Hiram, had a view of the tannery from his bedroom. He hated the smell.
Through the rest of his life, he didn't like the sight of blood. Sounds funny for a guy who becomes a Civil War general.
He was independent from an early age.
When he was 10 years old, he took a load of hides to Toledo.
At 12, he pulled this 2.5-ton stone, which now sits behind his boyhood home, from a local creek, using his horses and a wagon to make a doorstep for a doctor.
His father said, "You're late for dinner. Where have you been?" And apparently his answer was only, "I was helping a friend."
At 17, he left Georgetown for West Point. After graduating, he served in the Mexican-American War. Grant approached problems differently. He rose rapidly through the ranks during the Civil War.
One of the other things he developed as a child was he never retraced his steps. And he did that in the Army too. They never backed up. You know, they always went forward.
His victories at Shiloh and Vicksburg built his reputation.
And so they bring him to Washington and give him his 3rd star. And he's the first person since Washington to have 3 stars in the U.S. Army.
Grant's military pressure forced Robert E. Lee to surrender. He then won the 1868 presidential election in a landslide.
Probably the biggest thing that he did as president was he formed the DOJ, Department of Justice. And he did it for one reason only, to crush the Ku Klux Klan.
After his 2nd term, he left the White House, fulfilling a dream to travel.
And his world tour, he just draws these amazing crowds.
Grant, a heavy cigar smoker, developed throat cancer, which at the time was a death sentence.
1 month he received 40,000 cigars, and he felt it was his duty to smoke them. So he would smoke 20 to 25 cigars a day.
His final battle, a race against death to write his memoirs. He hoped to make a little money for his family out of the book deal, published by Mark Twain.
He invested with a friend, and that was a bad investment and lost all his money.
The final pages completed 2 days before he died.
Sold more books in the United States than any book except the Bible.
His family received what would be equivalent to $17 million today. That book is sold inside the gift shop in his childhood home. For Amazing America 250, I'm Marella Porter.